Jeanie, you've been asked to speak at the Business Game Changer Success Without Limits event.
Yes.
Tell us about your background.
Oh, I am so excited to be a part of this. I've been an entrepreneur since 2005. My first business was a shaved ice shack. And I was a high school teacher at the time. And so my summers were free.
Sure.
And I lived out in Eagle Mountain City Center, which if you don't know where that is, at the time in 2000, when I moved out there in 2001, there was nothing.
Sure.
There was nothing around there. And I decided that my kids needed something to do in the summer.
Sure.
And so we bought a shaved ice shack. And 6 years later, doing the math, 6 years later, we sold it for more than we had bought it for.
Good.
But during that time, we learned so much about business. It was the perfect start to a business. We learned how to do inventory.
Sure.
We learned how to hire and fire employees.
Sure.
We learned how to do taxes and payroll. And so it was, and we learned how to market. You know, how do we market our product? How do we research? Research and development was a part of it.
Sure.
Too. I mean, you think shaved ice shack, how difficult can that be? But it was perfect to start.
Sure.
It was a perfect starter business. And then from there, we fed into a real estate business. In 2007, we started doing real estate. My husband and I paid $35,000 for education through Robert Kiyosaki's classes.
Sure.
And in 2007, we had so many friends tell us, well, you're an idiot. Anybody can make money in real estate. I'm an educator. I was a high school teacher for 17 years.
Sure.
You will always pay for your education, either up front or in the back end.
With interest, usually.
Yeah, and I chose to pay for it up front.
Sure.
So we paid $35,000 to make over $1 million in real estate.
Cool.
During the crash in 2008, we did not lose a single property, and we continued to cash flow because of the education that we had. We had friends who lost everything.
Oh, sure.
Everything. Not just their rental properties, but their personal homes,
Sure.
their cars, everything.
Sure. Sure.
And so I'm really glad that I spent $35,000 on that education. Did we have it at that time? No, we put it on a credit card.
Sure.
You know, I bought the snow shack with money from my 401k. So it's not like I just have all this money sitting around and I can just pay for it. No.
Sure.
Every single time I've made a decision, it's been difficult.
Sure.
But it's paid me millions in returns, literally millions sometimes.
Cool.
And then from there, we've started a transportation company. My husband and I have a trekking company as well. It's doing very, very successful. And in 2012, I transitioned from the classroom as a high school educator into the professional speaking world. And so all of the things that I've learned, do you think they would not be connected? But they're absolutely connected.
Oh, yeah.
A gold nugget is a gold nugget no matter what business you apply it to.
Yeah, no question.
And so education is very, very important. Very, very important.
You know, there are 8 great speakers at this event, including you.
Thank
7 plus you.
Yes, thank you.
And so, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing at the event.
Oh, beautiful. So perspective is huge. And if you have your business at a certain level, whatever that may be, you know, you're making $2,000 a month or $20,000 a month, which is a milestone that we've broken in all of our businesses now, which is absolutely incredible. So it doesn't matter where you're sitting, you want to go to the next level.
Right.
You know, I held that. I make $20,000 a month in my professional speaking business for a long time before I made it.
Yeah.
And so it was the education that got me there. Well, guess what? Now I've got the goal of $50,000 a month.
Of course.
With just my speaking business. So every time you want to go to another level, you need to learn something new.
Right.
Wherever you may be, I don't care where it is.
Sure.
This business conference and symposium, seminar, however you want to term it, I don't care. It's a game changer because it will take you from wherever you are to your next level.
Sure.
Or maybe even 2 or 3 levels up, depending on how involved you get.
Right.
Because that's what it's about.
It always is.
Yeah. My session, we're going to be talking about perspective. People told me every single time I've shifted, every single time I've started something new, well, you're crazy. Why are you doing that? Because I've got a dream.
Sure.
I have a gift that I need to give.
Right.
And I need to get educated before I lose my, so I don't lose my shirt.
Well, when you hear that often is an indicator that you're on the right track.
Thank you for letting me know that.
Truly is. Often it tells you you're on the right track.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Your broke friends are telling you that, right?
Right, exactly. If you want to be broke, hang out with broke people. If you want to be rich, hang out with rich people.
Exactly.
And this is going to be that for some people. There's going to be people of every level there.
Sure.
Every business level, economic level, whatever you want to.
Sure.
You're going to find it there.
Well, and that's great because we all start somewhere.
Yeah.
And we all have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Sure.
The business plan starts with $1. I remember I still have our very first dollar hanging on the wall. Yeah. And now I've got a full set of money friends. And it's pretty cool.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, that's much better.
It starts with $1. It starts with that initial phone call. It starts with education.
Yeah.
Always education.
Right.
Get educated.
Right. And so this perspective thing you were talking about, talk a little bit more about that.
So typically we have a view of this is difficult or hard or I don't know what to do. But if you take a moment and shift it to all of the things you do know. I always start, so I'm going to tell you how I start my day. Is that okay?
Sure.
So the first thing I say when I wake up in the morning is thank you, God, for another day to become the person you see in me. Because he always sees me better than I see me.
Sure.
And then I immediately start with a whole list of gratitude things that I'm grateful for.
Sure.
And when you start from a place of gratitude, your whole world shifts.
It does.
And then I always say I love my life, and then I get started.
Sure.
And when I come from that perspective,
Yes.
my day is great.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to make that phone call. You know, when I started this business, I made 50 phone calls, cold calls a week.
Sure.
Now I made more than 50 calls, but 50 cold calls every week.
Sure.
To people I had no clue who they were. Well, I would know because we have this neat thing, the internet, right? You can
Sure,
research
sure.
a company, but they had no idea who I was.
Sure.
And the perspective from many of the people that I was working with is that cold calls, I don't do cold calls. My perspective was, thank goodness, a guinea pig to practice on.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I would call companies that never in a million years would hire me.
Sure.
Why? Because I want to screw up with them, not the people that are going to hire me.
Sure.
So my perspective was, yay, I get to practice.
Yeah.
Many people's perspective was, no, I can't do that.
Sure.
And so perspective sets up everything that you do.
Yep.
Do you love what you do or do you hate it? Guess what? In an instant, you can change that.
Sure.
You can shift it. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Cool. So now, how will that help somebody to grow their business if they learn that one little nugget that you just talked about from you?
Well, you don't know what you don't know.
Sure.
Right? You're sitting wherever you are right now. If you want to go to the next level, there's something that you need to know.
Right.
Maybe it's perspectives change. Maybe it's you need to be more grateful. Maybe it's that you need to believe in yourself.
Sure.
You know, maybe it's you need to learn how to do better sales. I don't know. And you may not know either.
Yeah.
That's why we're bringing 8 experts in. 8 experts that will give you a tool that you don't know you need right now.
Right.
But it's going to take you to the next level. Some of you, it will take you 2 or 3 levels because you're active, you're engaged, you're paying attention, and you're just going to glean gold nuggets all day long.
Yep.
Then you're going to go home and put it into action. Some of you won't. The most difficult thing for me to realize was that I can give people information, but it's up to them to apply that information. And so there's
You
going
mean
to
you
be
can't do my push-ups for me?
Nope, you got to do your own push-ups.
Wow.
Got to do your own push-ups.
Okay. So what are your final thoughts about the event, and tell me why it's worth the money for somebody to come?
Oh my goodness, it's worth 15 times.
Uh-huh.
When I look back at all the personal development or business training, you know, I go to everything. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars since I started becoming an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the other speakers have as well, because that's what you do. To become an expert,
Sure.
you've got to learn everything that you can.
Uh-huh.
And to get the knowledge of people who have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for $129, I mean, really, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
some of you may be sitting there going, no, I don't have $129. Then you have to be here. You have to be here. And some of you are like me going, seriously? $129? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's penance.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me buy 10. And I'm going to bring my whole family. I'm going to bring all
let's
my
sign you up
friends.
right now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, Jeanie. Sure, great to talk to you.
Thank you. Absolutely enjoyed
We're
it.
really looking forward to this event on the 26th of January.
Me too.
Cool.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. We'll see you later.
Bye.